Hi everyone, welcome to episode 2 of our AM2R playthrough.
Or as we want to call it, Metroid Murder Simulator 2006. Or
let's not.
2016.
Let's not do this again. I don't think we need this every episode.
I
think
about that.
We can get past this joke.
I know, but I mean, like, we said that about Luigi's Mansion, and that was just like, sucking up ghosts. This is literally Metroid Murder Simulator.
I totally forgot about those from the other M playthrough.
Okay, so we just got a new item that allows us to stick to walls.
Spider ball.
So that's pretty fun.
Does whatever a spider ball does.
Yeah, this was in the original Metroid too, wasn't it? Yeah.
I think the area you get it in is pretty much looks like that as well, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. It seems like there's a lot of... I know that there are parts of this game that are, like, completely new, pretty much. But I don't know exactly what they are.
Even as somebody who's played Metroid 2, it's kind of hard to tell considering, like, how Metroid 2 looks as a black and white game.
Yeah, from what I've heard, it's really difficult to play that game because, like, first off, the lava looks like mud, so you don't really know it's dangerous until you start seeing your health plummet.
Pretty much.
I actually really love the look of just regular Game Boy Metroid 2. It's like nice and stark and depressing in the way that Metroid games kind of should be. But obviously for navigation, it's kind of a mess.
Oh god, there is no map. There is literally no map. Like I literally to finish that game, I had to look up the map online and try to figure out where I was on it.
Jordan, was it like Zelda 1 where the game, I think that game like came with a map, and if you didn't have, like if you got a used copy of that game without the map, you're effectively screwed?
Well, to be fair, I never owned the original Metroid 2. I played it on 3DS Virtual Console. So, yeah.
I got nailed at the exact same part and felt that exact same emotion.
Yeah, I was really bummed about that.
Well, that's sort of a regular thing that happens when you try spider balling all over the place. Something always ruins it.
Yeah, the problem is that, like, it's just... I have this problem with Metroid games where it has a map to fill out, and I want to make sure I fill out, like, every square. Which is just... It's stupid, Because at a certain point you start to realize, like, oh, I've filled out the outline. I know that there's nothing else here. This is just going to be more blank space, but I feel the need to do it anyways. I gotta make my map. My map's gotta look good.
By the end of the game, like when you go back to the game, like when you eventually go back to the opening of the game, like the first area, I just had to fill the entire damn thing when we got the screw attack move.
Yeah.
Like I just had to.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing there, but I had to.
The worst part is when you try to do that, and there's this area that you just obviously cannot access, even if it's just like a non-space in the air. And it's just sort of like, oh, come on. I want to complete that map.
Totally.
I think that's the sole reason why they made the screw attack move. Just so you could fill out all the blocks of an area of the map.
Yeah. Here's me trying to get this stupid energy tank.
You have to solve the puzzle.
I figured it out eventually, I promise.
You have to solve the puzzle. Yeah, I think you have to activate them all at once, or I think it's like sequential.
Yeah, it's totally sequential. They last for a certain amount of time. So you can see that right one lasts for the longest amount of time. So you got to go right and then left and then middle, which I have not figured out yet, but we'll get to in a second. I thought stuff like that I think is really cool. Like this is not the sort of puzzle, and it's whatever. It's a Switch puzzle. It's not like some big revelation or anything. It's not the Swapper, the best puzzle game ever made, but it's the kind of puzzle that I feel like you don't really see in these games.
Quick tangent. I actually have the Swapper for the PS Vita. It's not fun on the Vita. I do not like the controls on the Vita. But I know that it's a very good game. So during the last Steam sale, it was on sale again for PC. So I got it, and I'm looking forward to giving it another chance because like I really dug the atmosphere. The puzzles seem good, but yeah, man, I think it's a game you really need to play with like a mouse and keyboard.
What game?
The Swapper. It's like a puzzle. It's like a environmental puzzle game that came out a couple years ago, and it is just fantastic. It's really. I like it a lot because I find puzzle games mostly really frustrating a lot of the time. Like, I think they're really cool at first, and then they start to get too advanced, and I just get frustrated and stop. The Swapper is one of the most, like, it's I never had to look up a guide in the Swapper, which is not to say that I didn't try. That like, it's not to say that those puzzles are easy, because they're not. They make you think a lot, but like, I would see a room and I would be like, look around in it and sort of be like, okay, I know that I can do this. Like I'll look at it and be like, okay, I can sort of see what they want me to do here. It's just it's got a clarity to it, and it's really good at easing you into the more difficult puzzles by like building on your previous skills. It also, like, its plot is not amazing, but it's very cool, and it's especially cool because the entire puzzle game is about this. You have this gun that allows you to make clones of yourself and swap into them. It's like playing with these sort of ideas, and there are all these different lights that will like either allow you or not allow you to pass through. So you're doing all this environmental stuff and swapping between bodies and doing all these crazy things.
Surprise.
Yep. Yeah, it's just really good, and the plot is actually about the swapping device itself, which is really cool because it's called the Swapper.
Yeah, like there's a lot of like things in the background that go on, and like some. I think you receive like messages and whatnot from a space station that gives. Again, I didn't get far into it at all.
Sure,
but
yeah.
I really dug the atmosphere. I like the way they were introducing a story, and the fact that. Usually these sorts of puzzle games, like the Swapper, don't have like a lot of they don't give the main protagonist a lot of character. But here, like the very opening of the game, I think has like your character like sort of like banging on the spaceship door as if like they don't want to be here. I really like that. Like right off the bat, they gave the player some character.
Yeah, that's cool. I actually didn't notice that, but that is cool. The ending of that game is really, yeah. Here's me just fucking rolling.
Oh, wow, I'm looking. I just like Googling it. And I'm like, wow, it's like getting like high acclaim, and I've never heard of it. I gotta.
Yeah,
check this
it's
out.
sort of. It was a bit of a sleeper hit. It like didn't. I think it didn't get talked about very much, but it is really something special. It also looks amazing. So everything in that game is like is sort of like clay, and a lot of the background stuff is like found objects. So you'll find like a spaceship, and the spaceship is like very obviously like a tin can with a thing on top. They do a lot of really neat stuff like that. It's awesome.
I'll definitely check it out. As we are playing, I guess, the first Metroid game in about 10 years. One Metroid game that one's like little to heard indie game I've heard that's very Metroid-like is, have you just heard of The Fall?
I played a bit of The Fall and was not super huge into it. It's not very Metroid-y. That game is really more of an adventure game. Like, it's a lot of like picking up items and putting them in other places, pretty much.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, though, it is Metroid-y in how you sort of deal with things, because it does require a lot of backtracking, a lot of very similar type of Metroid-type environments, and just there's not a lot of battle.
Yeah, aesthetically, it's pretty similar. And actually is also similar to the Swapper, which is pretty clearly Metroid influenced in that it's like very bleak, atmospheric space sort of stuff.
I was gonna say it's got almost like the exact same aesthetic.
Yeah, I found The Fall. I didn't finish The Fall. I just found its puzzles to be pretty frustrating. But I've heard the plot of that game is pretty cool, and I like love the concept.
Oh yeah, the plot is amazing, but the puzzles are stupid. Like, you try to, like, the thing about puzzle games, like, your solution has to make some form of sense, and it just didn't. Like,
I found that stuff pretty rough. Will, the Fall is a game that is about, basically, you are a robot, you're a dude in a suit, and the suit has its own sort of protocols, and the main thing with the suit is that, like, its main protocol is to make sure that the dude in the suit who is passed out is, like, able to stay alive. In order for the suit to do that, it needs all these like different functions, but it can only open the functions if its user's life is in danger. So you're basically trying to figure out all of these ways to put this suit into like dangerous situations so that it can activate its other powers.
Oh,
it's very interesting.
I like that concept. I like that as a concept.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll have to give it a shot.
I will probably one day actually give it an honest try. But I played the game for a couple hours and was like, ugh.
I played through the entire thing, and it's a interesting game. The plot's really nice. The answers to half the puzzles make absolutely no sense, and I had to look them up for the solutions, because really there's this one puzzle where you have to like deal with a baby crying, and I was like playing the game for like an hour ago, like what do I do? And I ended up just like looking up the solution. I'm like, how does that make any sense?
Yeah, that's the worst thing in a puzzle game, and that's a very adventure gamey sort of thing, because adventure games are all based on these like weird logic that are sort of like the game designer's logic and don't really make a lot of sense. Which is why when you get good adventure game puzzles, it's just like, it's super rare, but it happens, and you're like, oh, that was sensible. That's nice.
Well, kids, this is why you play test your game, to make sure it actually makes sense.
I mean, look, a lot of games, adventure games are sort of based on puzzles that don't make sense. Like that is what the LucasArts games were. That's what Myst was. It's like baked into the genre, kind of. Not including the Telltale style. And that's not to say they shouldn't do better, because they should.
Well, the thing is, though, like, it doesn't have to make actual sense. It just has to logically go together. And a lot of the things in the fall did not logically go together. Yeah,
definitely. And you reach that thing in that game of like, okay, I have this item, I know what I'm supposed to do with it, I just haven't combined it in exactly the right way.
Yeah.
Which is a problem that like the Phoenix Wright games have that problem too.
I was just thinking that.
Being adventure games.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is cool. So you'll notice that in this game, you're sort of fighting a lot of the same enemies a lot of the time. Like, we've fought this Metroid a lot of times, and sort of the only thing that is changing is that the level is different, the environment is different, this is a game that actually is really elegant and uses that really, really well, because you know what the patterns of the enemy are, but the fact that it limits your mobility or puts you in areas where it's like, oh, if you get into this spot, you're going to get hurt, actually like changes the fight really, really drastically, and I really love that.
I remember playing the original Metroid 2 like when I was on the Virtual Console Game Boy, and like that, like you just walk into a room and you see a Metroid, and I swear, like at certain times your heart kind of stops, because you're just like, oh crap, got to deal with this, and especially if you're like low on health or low on missiles, and these things can actually like very well kill you.
Yeah, there is a part near the end of this game that does that super, super well. Obviously, I will take note of it, I'm sure, when we get there, which will be in a little while.
That being said, when you get one of these guys into a lock, it is just so satisfying.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
But playing this game on, as the Metroid, the Game Boy version, man, like, these things are 10 times scarier, because you realize you can't really do much to go against them.
Yeah.
You don't have the mobility or the ability to aim, so we're just like, oh crap, what do I do?
Yeah, totally. Like later on in the game, you definitely have to make sure your life and like your ammo is replenished, particularly your super missiles if you haven't like collected a lot of them throughout your scavenging.
Yeah, I had that problem. I had to, near the end of this game, I had to do sort of a pass through the rest of the world again, because I was like, I don't have enough of these. This is dumb.